Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome along then to the second race here in Bahrain. We are once again ready for a sprint race before we head into qualifying and the 50% Grand Prix. I am Connor, as you'll know, and I'm all on my own today. Nobody wanted to join me, and my usual little backup commentators, of course, racing here today. We have a reverse championship grid for the sprint race. Shut up, Mike Williams. Which means that we're going to have the likes of Talbot, Khan, Rosu, Byland, Potts, Jerling, all at the back of the grid. And we're going to have the likes of Luke Martin, who is reserving for Alpine today, starting on pole for the sprint, which is going to be interesting to say the least. Justin Huveniers, I don't know if he's racing today, but we've got the two Alfa Romeos starting second and third, as long as they are both here. Vandenberg as well in P4. Hardizer, who's shown his pace last season in Tier 2, starting P5. So because I don't think he's actually turned up to a race this season. And then the two Ferraris 6th and 7th on the grid. And we are going to get ready now to go to 5 red lights here in Bahrain for the sprint race here in Tier 2. I have got no sound. What is going on? There we go. We are back. And it is Luke Martin leading away from Nando Berlin. Hardizer up into P3 from Mans Vandenberg in P4. Two Ferrari side by side trying to defend off a Mercedes who goes very wide. It's Peter Jan Dijkstra going wide there in the back. Berlin Mando still holds on to P2. Hardizer, Grabowski and Kosicilak, I think that is, all holding position as well. Jerling is down quite a few positions down in P11. The two Hasses now scrapping it out with the Mercedes driver of Dijkstra into turn 4 further back. The AlphaTauri of Jeff Pavic getting into a bit of a fight with Vlad Rosu, who's down into last place. Here we go then, the two McLarens also side by side as we head down the hill and into the right-hander. Through turn 8 we go. It is Haas of Puthran losing out there to Vlad Rosu, who's gained two positions since turn 4. Back up to the front we go, and it is Luke Martin running away with this Tier 2 sprint race. And here we go. Is a 10-second time penalty for Jeff Pavic as Nando Berlin gets overtaken round the outside by Cohen Hardizer, but he defends it off beautifully into the penultimate corner, and you'll keep that second place for now as the two Ferraris are looking hungry behind, especially Grabowski, who's going to overtake both of them into the final corner. Down the inside goes Grabowski. He's got two cars in one straight there into the final corner. It's Grabowski up into P2. As it is getting crazy back there. I don't know what's going on with this graphics setting, but it's Hardizer making a move past both Ferraris, and then goes Berlin up the inside. He's hitting wide. The Ferraris go through. Grabowski's through. Oh, his contact between Berlin. There's a spun round. There's a huge pile up. Oh my God. Khan in the wall. Jehovah's all out. There's damage for a McLaren up the road there, as well as more wing damage, as I think there was a Haas running into the back of Jeff Pavic AlphaTauri. 5-second time penalty for Berlin. I think that is too small of a penalty. I can't lie. Pronto track map. That is a good shout. Put that data on as well. Actually, that's in the way of the text, isn't it? Never mind. We do have a safety car here in Sakir though. And what on earth? Imagine Tier 3. We won't have to in a few days. Does anyone know why the cars are so foggy compared to the track? I know this was a problem in Tier 1, but he fixed it somehow, but I couldn't find the setting. Turn down my quality. My quality is already pretty much minimal. See? Actually, I think it is minimal. Weather effects? Let's try that. That maybe as well. No, that's not fixed it. Who's coming into the pits then? We have Ryan Much. I think he was the McLaren with a completely missing wing. Yes, he was. And in he comes. We also have Hardizer up from the front lead of the battle alongside Berlin, who I think just went a little bit deep on the brakes. Tried to get a bit greedy. Made contact with Hardizer, spun a few people around, and it all just became a pile up from there on. But it is Luke Martin leading the Tier 2 Bahrain sprint race. And the two Ferraris looking racy behind. Mans, Vandenberg and Swan, the old teammates at McLaren, running 4th and 5th as it stands. You think it's some shadow setting? What if I turn that up? Does that improve it at all? No. If anyone knows, or if anyone can find out how to fix it, that'd be greatly appreciated for the race. Because look at that, it's disgusting. What is this? Maybe it's just because my settings are too low? Could be a point. Reflections. How the fuck is that? That one? Screen space? Car and helmet reflect. Oh yeah. So turn that up. Put it on medium. That still looks terrible. I think that's made it a little bit worse. Okay. I am running a NASA computer. Lighting quality. Okay. Luckily this safety car gives us a good chance to get this all perfectly set up, doesn't it? Put it on like medium, no high. Let's try high. No, still not fixed. Post process. Am I just going through everything? The thing is, Luke ran everything pretty high in the first place. I swear he turned something down that fixed it. Oh. Yes! You're a genius. I think that's fixed it. Yeah, that looks good. Sorted. Okay then. There is lap 4 here in Bahrain. We're nearly halfway through. I think by the time the safety car comes in, we will be on. We'll have 6 laps of racing left. So expect more carnage, because I'm sure there will be with this tier 3, or this wash tier 3 driver leading us away on this safety car restart. Tell you what, let me do another thing real quick while we have the time. Where is camera settings? Can I see them in this? I can't, can I? No. Good. Anyway, safety car is going to be in this lap. So, who do we think is going to be leading by the end of the next lap, chat? Are we going to say it's going to be Luke Martin still dominating the way from his pole position here in the sprint? Or will one of the Ferraris take it? Or will the Ferraris collide and someone behind take it? Who knows what could happen by the end of this sprint race? But here we go. We're going to have 6 laps of hard racing. Luke Martin dashes away now from the Ferraris. He's got a good jump. He's taken the inside curb. Absolutely ate that inside curb, which isn't going to help him as we head down the pit straight once again for the 5th time this race. And it is the 2 Ferraris looking hungry, but especially Grabowski once again making that double overtake before the final corner on this track just a few laps ago. He's going for the lead now, though, on lap 5, down the inside of Luke Martin's Alpine. And he has put himself up into the lead of this sprint race. His teammate of Kosicilak, I think that is. I might have to fact check that, but it is Farov coming up next, all over the rear wing of that Alpine, as the Red Bull of Vandenberg and Swan in the McLaren behind follow them through. Further back, we've got a bit of battling going on with Vlad Rosu trying to cut his way up the field from that low starting position due to the reverse grid sprint. And Prix and Monk fighting it out further back. Jerling and Byland fighting it out as well. Who's that? That's Monk, I think. Did Drunky Monkey have a moment? I think he might have done. As the two AlphaTauris are battling it out, and one of them nearly hit a wall. As Mans Vandenberg has gone wide, and I think that has allowed Swan to get through up into P4. But Vandenberg's thinking about fighting it back. He's actually trying to defend from Kevin Byland, who's going around the outside. Last time out was pole sitter, let's not forget, in Jeddah. Up the inside of Mans Vandenberg, and down the inside now of Will Swan. There's contact made, but no one's spun round, and everyone's still pointing in the right direction as Jerling now looking to get in the mix. Down the inside of Mans Vandenberg into the final corner. Jerling holds that inside line, squeezes him a little bit onto the curb, but he has made the move stick, and now the two Red Bulls are going to be side by side down the pit straight. Is Luke Martin reserving in tier 2? Yes, he is. Whereas his driver, Dijkstra, currently finds it out for the top 10 positions as he goes down the inside of Ryan Much. But up the inside there comes Puthran, the ex-Mercedes driver last season, but he can't make it stick on this occasion, and he will have to settle back down into P12 as there's a Ferrari of... is that Kosicilek? I didn't actually check. I think it is Kosicilek. Down the inside of Luke Martin and up into P2. It's a Ferrari 1-2 here in Sakir. Thank you, Will. Yippee. Hi all. Oh wait, no, you're not Ferrari anymore. What are you on about? As oh my god, this is all kicking off further down. As Jerling, the Spyland's got past Will Swan. We missed that, but there's a yellow flag out currently into turn 10. I can't see anyone that stopped on track, but Jerling is looking to make a move here as we head around through sector 2. There's a wait, what? Never mind. I did not see that. I don't know what happened to Kosicilek, but he has fallen down to P9. I think he might have spawned as Luke Martin and Kevin Byland are battling it out for P2 in this race. I don't know where to look. But Grabowski extends his lead from Luke Martin. Byland looking to get himself up into that P2 position. Down the inside of the final corner. Will Swan also looking in at the back of that Haas driver. Here comes Byland, pulling out to the right hand side, pushing himself up to the pit wall, trying to find as much speed as he can as Will Swan gets into P2 in this race. Jerling now looking up the inside, they're 2 wide by 2 wide. Into turn 1 we go. It is Will Swan and Kevin Byland fighting out, but Luke Martin's on the outside as well. Jerling and Luke Martin go side by side, there's contact. Luke Martin saves it just about, but it slows down the Red Bull of Vlad Rossi back down to P12 after that. But it is 3 wide, 4 wide. Once again into turn 4. Luke Martin spun round again. Jesus Christ, this man is an absolute weapon on track. But he is holding P11. He's gone from P1 to P11 in like 2 laps time. This is incredible. I don't know where to look. I don't know how there's still this many people running in this race. But Kevin Byland up into P2. Will Swan up into P3. Here comes Kevin Jerling. Still chasing down the back of that McLaren. As, oh my god, what has gone on further back? There's a Haas of Puthran and Much battling out side by side into turn 10. And they're going to be side by side all the way down the straight as we head through sector 2. It is Much that stays ahead. Potts finds himself up into P6, but with the pressure behind of Ryan Much on those soft tyres that he switched to earlier on in this race due to that damage. He is recovering well though, up into P7 into the points. Yes, tier 3 is going to be absolute chaos. Here's the man that was running P2 very temporarily and now finds himself down into P13. We're not too sure what happened to him. Maybe a mistake. I don't think anyone was close enough to him to spin him round or anything, so I think it was a genuine mistake. But Will Swan is making a move up into P2 in this race. Jerling all over the back of Byland there under braking. Brakes so much later. Byland will look for a move back down into turn 4. He's got the DRS assistance, just like Swan did down the pit straight. And here comes Byland now on the brakes, round the outside, and stays and regains that P2 position from Swan. As Jeff Pavic in the mud at turn 4. I think that must have been contact. He was 2 in the pack there for it not to be. As Jerling all over the back of Will Swan. Will Swan trying to hold him off, but it's going to be side by side into turn 10. Jerling backs out of it. Swan hangs it round the outside, deep on the brakes. and keeps that P3 position as that is not Swan, it's Jeff Pavic again having a little moment, probably hot tyres after his spin. But this is a very intense sprint race. We're getting some good racing, some not so good racing. It's all, all on the table right now for these drivers. I think someone should stick to commentary on a Sunday. That's a good one. Oh, Mons Vandenberg going round the outside of Puthran. Can Puthran hold that P5 position as we head down the pit straight? They're both going to have DRS, but it's all about who wants to deploy their ERS at this time, who can find the overspeed down the pit straight and into turn 1. It's going to be side by side as the battle for P2 and P3 all livens up. They're going to be 3 wide on exit. Will Swan holds that P3 position just about, but a bit of a snap might invite Jerling now to get a run on him into turn 4. Here we go, down to turn 4, braking at about the 100-metre board, round the outside for the Aston Martin. Puthran trying to join his teammate up there in the top 4. He might just about do it. They're going to be side by side. Into sector 2 we go. Jerling might lose 2 positions here as much as eyeing him up as well. Much down the inside. Is there room left for him? There is. But he doesn't quite find the speed through that apex to make the move stick on Jerling. And there's more contact there into turn 10. This is... Puthran is washed, but... Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, here we go. We are about to head on to the final lap of this race. Grabowski has got the win here by the looks of things. He's 6.8 seconds now up in the lead of this Tier 2 sprint race in Bahrain. His teammate was not so fortunate once he got up into that second place position. But Byland will be hungry to try and... Oh, not Byland, sorry, Puthran will be hungry to try and take this P3 position and make it a Haas double podium in the sprint. But Dijkstra's retired. I don't think there'll be a safety car or a VSC at this late stage in the race. So Byland keeps P2. Puthran looks around the outside, though, of Will Swan. Puthran on those soft compound tyres makes the move stick. Gets up into P3 in this race. It is a Haas 2-3 in this race as 2 McLarens are going to try and assist each other, give each other tow down this pit straight. Not this pit straight, into turn 4. Sorry, I'm a bit rusty at this commentary thing. Into turn 4 we go. And Swan stays ahead of Jerling. Much will be hungry, though, to get past him by the end of this lap. The 2 Haasses running a bit away with this a little bit, as well as Grabowski up in the lead. I can't get my words out. I apologise. As we come over the hill, Swan is still in that P4 position. I also smell. Brilliant. Well, at least to clean out, I have to move all my flabs out the way. So, Grabowski rounding the final corner now. On the power for one last time in this sprint race. And he is going to take the win here in Tier 2. The 2 Haasses. Who is going to get it? Is it going to be Puthran? Is it going to be Byland? I think Puthran is going to let Byland take this one. And it is second place for Byland. Swan crosses the line in P4. Jerling P5. Much P6. Mons Vandenberg P7. Rosu P8. Rounding out the final points paying position. Wow. Surprisingly, a hell of a lot better than the Tier 1. Right? Actually, it's not surprisingly, because Tier 1 is just a bit of a mess all the time. But I'd say that was quite a good sprint race. Sets us up nicely for the race. And there you go, there are your final sprint race classifications. Let me get the screenshots because I'll get shouted at if I don't. Okay. I've got the screenshots. We are all good. Don't even worry about it. Okay, chat. We'll be back very shortly. We've got to have a lobby restart, and then we'll head into the qualifying session that will set the grid for the 50% Grand Prix. Hello, hello. Welcome back. We are getting ready for a 18-minute qualifying session here in Tier 2. And we should be getting underway shortly. Hopefully everyone will remember setups. Everyone, setups. Engineers, if you're listening, remind them, setups. Setups, setups, setups. Thank you. Okay.
Welcome to the Kingdom of Bahrain, an archipelago situated in the heart of the Middle East and home to 1.5 million people. Bahrain's introduction to the Formula One calendar in 2004 coincides with what is arguably
Qualifying. I don't know why that doesn't come through as
races held that season. One of these wins being Bahrain's inaugural Grand Prix.
what's it? It doesn't come up on Streamlabs. Yeah, wait, it just doesn't come up. What if I do that? No? Okay, that's weird. Not too sure. But we'll focus on the qualifying session. That is ahead of us. We have the wait, it's broken again. What? How? How does this happen? Nah. What? What the hell? I don't know what's happened there. Interessante. Well, here we go then. We're gonna ride on board with Prix for his first lap in qualifying. Coming down the famous pitch straight that is well known for starting off a lot of the F1 seasons by now into the heavy braking zone of turn 1 down to third gear. I'd probably say second through there just to get the power and then short shift up to third, but he shows in third as we head down another DRS straight now into turn 4. Prime overtaking spot, it proved that in this sprint race. Just about scrapes the apex there as we come through into sector 2 now through 6 and 7 down the hill into another heavy braking zone of turn 8, using as much track on the outside there as you can. If you get back on the power, up the hill once again and then back down the hill into the tricky braking zone of turn 9 and turn 10. Just about hooks it up there. Does Prix back on the power in third gear, up to 6th, up to 7th, and guess what? Right back up to 8 as well before we head into turn 11. Very tricky corner to get right, especially getting back on the power and back up another hill into turn 12. And then that is the end of sector 2 as we go into sector 3 now, but only 2 corners in this sector and a massive straight that sets you up nicely as you want to close up as much as you can into the DRS zone. Back on the brakes into the final corner, down to 4th gear, slightly on the power, runs it onto the curb. That's a nice lap there from Prix to start off the session. A 28.5. That is a very competitive lap from Prix, and I'm sure his teammate, who was just behind him, is going to be finishing his lap now, as he's just invalidated on the final corner. But it was a 29.5, a second slower actually than his teammate and the team principal actually of Haas. Oh, I've just missed Luke Martin, who does a 29.8. Prix does a 28.7. He's the closest competitor to Prix right now, as Potts does a 29.8 as well. Potts doing nearly the same time as Luke Martin, absolutely washed. Hardizer goes P2 with a 28.7. Rosu There's a 28.7 as well. Drozel now up into the P4 with 29.3 as there's a Red Bull of oh, he's just starting a lap. That was Mans Vandenberg starting a lap there. Who have we got next coming through? I think it is Mons actually. Yeah, I think it is, because I don't think Dijkstra backed off his lap. So I don't know why the lighting's gone goofy again. I've changed it around and it's just not done anything. Is there a lobby restart? No, there is not a lobby restart. Mons Vandenberg, purple through sector 1. Here he goes, back down the hill, into turn 8. Gets the apex beautifully there. In second gear, getting as much power as he can. Back up the hill now. Into a very tricky braking zone. You don't want to be heavy on the brakes, but soon lift back off that pressure, because you need to get the car turned in. Make sure you don't block up that inside front left. And then back on the power once again, up into 8th gear as we head to turn 11. Runs it a little bit on that inside curve, but this is looking like a good lap here from Mons Vandenberg. Looking a lot more, he's like getting on the power a lot nicer. He's using lower gears than what Puthran did on his lap. It might be provisional pole for the Red Bull driver here. Into the final corner he goes. Beautifully hitting the apex there. Maybe not running the car as wide as he could. But here he comes. Mons Vandenberg up to the line. Is it going to be provisional pole? No, it isn't. 29.7. Wow. I thought I looked a lot nicer through the first and second sector. I don't know. I just... Lighting quality, shadows. There you go. Just turn them all up. See what that does. Oh, hey, that fixed it. Probably my PC will probably blow up now though. Here comes Kosicilek up to the line. It's a 29.3 for him. Ryan Much starting a lap, so it's going to be the other Ferrari of Grabowski now. Coming through sector 2 into sector 3. And back on the power as we head to the final corner over the hill. Once again, Grabowski into the final corner. Can this put him anywhere near the top? Winning the sprint race, remember, just a few minutes ago. Can he put himself onto provisional pole in qualifying? No, he can't. It's the second row though, just behind Vlad Rosu, the Tier 2 champion in season 5, I think. I think it was season 5. Quote me if correct me if I'm wrong is what I meant to say, not quote me if I'm wrong. That probably wouldn't be a good idea. Alright, up next on a lap, I think, is Ryan Much. Who I know has wanted to prove himself. I am his team principal. He's not been too happy with his results this season so far, so he's looking for a good result here in the third race. Into the final corner now. Ryan Much on the power once again. What is it going to be for him? He's going to get a little bit of a tow here from the Mercedes ahead. Up to the line. It's a 29.2 for Much. Puts in P5. It was a good first lap in qualifying. And next up is going to be Kevin Jerling, I believe. Coming through Sector 2 into Sector 3 now. It's saying he's purple. I don't know if I believe it. Hopefully, for the Tier 3 race on Wednesday, we will have the overlay back. And things will be a lot nicer to watch. Let's hope and pray. As we go into the final corner with Kevin Jerling. Keeps it within the white lines. We're still yet to see Byron set a lap time that is within the white lines. And Jerling goes P4, 29.1. It's looking pretty close. There's 3 people in the 28s, but into the 29s. Look at that. Is Jerling on a 29.1, and then down in P9 is Kosicilek on a 29.3. There's 2 tenths, just over 2 tenths separating P4 to P9 right now. So it is going to be a close midfield, I feel. As who have we got next on a lap? Is that... It's not Luke Martin on a lap. No, is it? No, he's starting a lap. I believe it's Dijkstra next then. Yes, I think it is Dijkstra. As he's flying his way into the final corner. He's got a 130.1 as it stands. He'll be looking to improve on that though. Across the line, it goes P10 with a 29.6. Into the 29s for him as well as Nando. Or Nando Berlin, I don't know which way you say it. It does a 30.4. And then... it is Hardizer who is starting a lap, I think. Yes, possibly. Let's hope and pray that I didn't just miss that he set a faster time. Is Rosu on the lap? Rosu is not on the lap. I think it's going to be Potts. It is Potts. He goes P6 with a 29.1. So it is another very close time to the top. Swan crosses the line to start a lap. Jeff Pavic crosses the line to start a lap. So is it going to be Byland next to cross the line? He does cross the line, goes P6. So he's got a good time in there. Another 29.1. It is very close with these 29.1s coming through at the moment. Luke Martin crosses the line now. Where does he go? P7 with a 29.1. These 29.1s are coming through thick and fast right now. Jehovah's does a 29.2 on his most recent lap. So he's within a tenth of this top 4 as well. And... wow, this is going to be a very close end to the qualifying session. Anyone could be in that top 5 right now. What can Tier 1 Jeff Pavic cook? That is a very good question, as he is going to be not the next person to cross the line. It's going to be Hardizer, who looks to be in the battle for pole. I think he was 600ths up, which isn't enough right now, but it will get him very close and put him right in the right position to start his last lap. But it is 500ths of a second between him and provisional pole right now. Who have we got coming up next? I think Grabowski is on a out lap, I believe. Yes, he is. Who's coming in the pits? I think it's Will Swan, who is currently sat down in P11 on a 29.2. If he can improve by 2/10 on his second lap, which it doesn't look like he is because he's coming into the pits, but if he did, that would have put him P4. It is crazy close right now, the grid, as Jeff Pavic goes P13. He's doing the Daniel Ricciardo. And who's that? Not... oh, it was Stanzenberg. Starting a lap? No, finishing a lap. He went P13, just replaced Jeff Pavic in that position. And with the 29.3, as both the Alpines now come back into the pit lane, it is going to be a... who's on a lap right now? I don't think anyone's on a lap. Monk down in P17. Absolutely cooking nothing. If Luke out Quali's Swan, you best never let him live it down. Swan, do you want to come commentate with me? Not Swan. Rolf. Sorry, I was... I'm in directors if you want to join, Rolf. We can laugh at Jeff Pavic together. Oh, I missed... Khan did a 28.6. Pushed himself up into P3. Sorry, I just completely missed that. That is my bad. Sorry, Khan. It's a great lap there, though. Puts him within a tenth of a second to provisional pole. Who? Puthran. Has Puthran even been back out the garage since at that time? I don't know if he has. But next up is going to be Kevin Jerlin, who I think has just got a nice tote from his teammate, who is sat up in P3 at the moment, all the way down that middle straight. and he apparently is purple in sector 2. He says it's 2/10 up on his time as well, so this could be a competitive time. Will it be enough to get him into the top 4 though? Because 2/10 is not enough right now for him to get into that top 4. He's got to improve by what, half a second, maybe 4/10, just over 4/10 of a second to get into that top 4, and he does. It's very marginal though, just 13 thousandths of a second between him and Rosu behind. So he's got to get round. I don't think he's going to have time to do another lap though. I don't think he has the time. So that could be Journey's last lap of the day, where his teammate is into the pit lane now and will get out with enough time to go back round. Hey, what about me? I didn't even see. Well, here we go. It's going to be everyone's final laps now in qualifying, and it's going to be Vlad Rosu, the champion, leading us away to start his final lap in qualifying. I keep wanting to say Q1 because it's in the top left, but it's not. So let's ride on board with Vlad Rosu as he crosses the line now to start what could possibly be his final lap in qualifying. I say possibly because if he throws it, he might conserve and go again one last time in the final few seconds of qualifying. But here he goes, through turn 1, through turn 2. He's a bit of a compromised line headed into 2, but he seems to have made it work as we head down to turn 4 now. On the brakes, into third gear, trying to find all the power he can without spinning the back end of the car out, and he's done that nicely. It's a 28.6 through the first sector. He's a 10th and a bit up as we come through there. It's apparently purple as well, but don't believe this game's telemetry because it is not accurate. A little bit of a snap out of turn 8 as we head up the hill, up into 6th gear all the way through, down to 3rd, 2nd as he clips the apex, gets back on the power, and the DRS will be enabled once again for the Red Bull driver. Nando is out of qualifying, but he's gone up to P6 with a 28.9. Definitely of it. We can't catch that lap. I didn't know he was on a lap, but it's a great effort from the Alfa Romeo driver as we come through sector 2 into 3 now with Vlad Rosu. It's looking like a competitive lap. He's lost a little bit of time though, I think, in the second sector compared to his last time, as Jerling knows he won't get back out and set another lap time at this late stage. So he at best is going to be P4 for Aston Martin behind his teammate. But here comes Rosu out of the final corner, his final run in qualifying. What is it going to be for Vlad Rosu? It's P4. He displaces Jerling after he retires. Next up is Khan to start a lap, and then Luke Martin starting a lap. Who am I missing? Am I missing anyone? I don't think so. Is Byland on a lap? Byland is on a lap. He's gone a 28.8, which puts him P6 as it stands. And that is going to be him done for qualifying. Next up will be the Ferrari of Kosicilek. Got up to P2 in the sprint race. Fell back down the order out of nowhere. I think a spin at turn 10 put him out of the points and into the bottom 5 in the sprint. But here he comes through the final corner, back on the power for the final time in his lap. What is it going to be for Kosicilek? It's P8 ahead of his teammate, but his teammate is about to cross the line now, and I'm sure improving. The sprint race winner goes up to P4, the second row of the grid. Is it going to be Jeff Pavic next? It is Jeff Pavic. What can the Tier 1 driver cook in this session? Only P10. He is absolutely washed, and he's just displaced by Potts, who goes P8. Next up is Potts' teammate, Dijkstra. What can he cook in this qualifying session? Not enough. It's a 29.6. It's P17 for him. Is that Mans Vandenberg? It was Mans Vandenberg. Goes up to P11. Drohovizel goes P8. Swan is in the pit lane. Where is Luke Martin? Luke Martin's up to the line now. Goes P8. Luke Martin is out qualified. His teammate reserving in Tier 2. Much has gone P2 out of nowhere with a 28.4. Khan goes to pole. I didn't even catch Khan going up to pole with a 28.3. Puthran hasn't improved on his time. It's a 28.5 for Puthran. And it's going to be pole for Khan here in Sakir. Congrats. The dono is ready. You're earning us money here, Swan. I was too busy trying to figure out what was going on with Swan and Luke that I completely missed the fact that Khan put it on pole. I'm sorry. Well, there is your man on pole.
Well, good evening.
Oh, look who it is. Good
Hello.
to laugh at Will Swan's performance like he does at yours.
I mean, there's nothing positive to say about this performance, so I think we only have the option of hating on him. But yeah, he deserves that. He likes to stick it out and hate a bit on me.
Yep. Deserved. That is the only word I can think of as well. And let me just get these screenshots because I get shouted at. People don't like me. There we go. There we go. So it is Khan on pole, leading away from Ryan Much. Puthran in P3 after not improving on his first lap in qualifying. Hardeyes a P4, Grabowski in the Ferrari, the sprint race winner, rounding out the top 5. We are set up for a very exciting Grand Prix, I feel.
I think there's some interesting qualifying results. Some fast people normally in quali at the back, and people like Luke Martin in P9. I did not expect that, but what a performance so far.
No one expected Luke Martin to be up in the top 10. Especially not out qualifying his teammate on his reserve, in a reserve team. So he's showing what he's made of. He's showing that he's tier 2 pace and that we're going to have to find a new commentator. If you want to be a commentator for Amethyst Racing, please put your hand up in chat because we're going to need one. Are you ready for some racing, Rolf van Loon?
I am in fact not, because I'm still in the menu, not loading. So.
Oh. Well, I'm sure when you get in, we'll be underway, and you can be ready for that. As here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here in Sakir, and they are out, and we are away. Ryan Much looking to get a good start. Puthran, though, looks like he gets a great start compared to the top 2. He's going to be 3 wide as we head down into turn 1 now. The Aston Martin on the inside, McLaren of Ryan Much goes up the inside, takes the lead of the race, but there's a Ferrari of Grabowski once again capitalising into turn 1 and up into P2 for Grabowski as the two Hasses battle it out. Puthran and Byland fighting it out as we head up to turn 4 now, as side by side for Grabowski and Khan fighting for P2. Grabowski hangs it down the inside and steals that P2 away from Khan. Khan down 2 positions at the end, not even halfway through the first lap from pole position. As further back, we have a lot of action going on in the midfield that we can't quite catch because, oh my god, they are 3 wide coming down into turn 8. As Mercedes of Dijkstra tries to find his way round the outside. Oh, of Kosichalek, who has spun round out of turn 8 and has to pirouette on track to get point in the right direction once again. As here we go, through sector 2 we come. We have the Haas of Puthran holding off Khan in the Aston Martin, who has fallen down actually another position. When have we ever seen someone from pole position fall down 3 positions in a lap? Never before have we ever seen that. Oh wait, today in Hungary. Anyway, as we head on, Byland looking at the back of Khan's Aston Martin now, with Jehovahzul in tow. Further back, Berlin and Hardeiser fighting it out. I don't know why it's so foggy now, but it is. And it seems like my graphics settings change every lobby reset we go into. I don't understand it, but it is. Oh my god, it is what it is. Game? What is going on with my game? I don't know, but here comes Mons Vandenberg. Actually, no, Vlad Rosu. Actually, who's that? There's a Haas on the side of the track. It's Puthran. Puthran spun at turn 1. We don't know if there was contact involved, but Rosu and Mons Vandenberg get past on Luke Martin. Luke Martin still in P9 in this race as the two Red Bulls side by side. He looks down the inside, does Luke Martin. Doesn't quite find the traction and the grip on the exit, though, to get past Mons Vansenberg and launch a re-attack. As Much extends the lead out in front with 1.5 seconds now to Grabowski. Is down the inside of Jehovazul. Goes Vlad Rosa. The two Red Bulls and the Alpines really getting into a little bit of a fight here. As there's a Mercedes of Potts, who I'm sure Luke Martin won't want to bother too much, as he is the team principal of his team. But he is defending him off. And Potts is down to P11. Mons Vansenberg's falling down a few positions here. What is going on in this race? That is Jehovazul completely off track. The two Alpines side by side, 3 wide. Into turn 11, the Mercedes of Potts hits the back of Prüfran's at Haas. Prüfran trying to find his way around the outside. What is going on here? As the two Mercedes now battling it out to try and get past the AlphaTauri of Jeff Pavic, who's come out of nowhere and is trying to get past Luke Martin. Is this still a reverse grid? Why is Luke Martin and Jeff Pavic all the way up in there? Luke Martin and Jeff Pavic go side by side to the final corner. Jeff Pavic down the inside, side by side still as we head down the pit straight with Potts trying to get past his team principal. He hit him! Luke Martin had contact with his own driver and he's now fallen down the order all the way to P14. And he's not going to be too happy about that, but I'm sure he's happy that he didn't take his own driver out of the race. Vlad Rosu making a move here on Kevin Jerling into turn 4. Rosu up the inside. It's like an easy job there. Nice move from the Red Bull driver. Typical Monk light flashing, yeah. Oh! Oh no, what's happened here? What's happened here? Will Swan and Kosicilek both out of the race. They've made contact coming through turn 7. And it's going to be a virtual safety car that has been deployed. I have no idea what happened there, but I'm sure Swan is about to come into the chat. There we go. There he is.
Yeah, looking from the contact there it looked like they had some kind of incident coming together. It's certain that people like Kevin Byland, Hardeyes and Drahovsel are not happy. This is only a VSC, as it is 2 stopped cars on track. But
yeah. It's a bit of an interesting VSC. We do play on a reduced safety car, because at some tracks it is very easy to bring out a full safety car just from a spin or something. But Much, I'm sure, on these medium tyres will be happy about this VSC to just preserve them a little bit more. Maybe go a little bit longer in the race and try and match the hard tyres towards the end. But he's probably looking for an undercut here on these medium tyres. We'll have a quick look down the field right now what tyres everyone's on. There you go. It's a mixture of medium and hards. The second and third of Grabowski and Khan both running the hard compound tyres. Rosu on the mediums in P4. Jerling down to Monk, all on the hard compound tyres, with the rest on mediums. Luke Martin is into the pit lane.
yeah, unlucky for Luke. He was so far up the field fighting for that P7 position. But it was a mighty scrap with lots of cars involved, and he fortunately was at the worst end of it.
Luke Martin into the pits for a wing change. So I think that might have been when he made contact with his teammate. Well, not his teammate, I mean his driver. Luke Martin wanted me to point out that he is running a special Amethyst Racing Esports launch helmet, because obviously the esports team has just come to fruition, and we are slowly trying to build it up. So he's running, I can't really work it out right now. Can you work it out? I can't. For some reason my game's really foggy.
Yeah, mine is as well, I must say. Maybe it's because of some lower graphic settings. It looks a bit yellow and purple.
Monk got a
Not
drive
actually.
through. Classic. Classic.
Classic.
Can we get
Classic
some, can we
Monk.
get- Can we
No.
get some Monk L spam in chat, please? Let me see it, because it will appear on the stream when he watches it back. Because I've got a chat in the top right. He'll really appreciate it, chat. There we go. There's one. Come on. Where's your dono? Oh, the thing doesn't work. I don't have a clue why. I tried fixing it, but it could take a while. Khan, though, making his way up into P2. I just completely went silent. I'm sorry, Khan. I'm butchering Khan today because he's got pole. I didn't even realise, and now he's overtaking someone I didn't even realise. I'm just, yeah.
Poor Khan.
I'm sorry, Khan. I promise, you'll get your moment. Okay, you'll get your 3 goes Khan moment. Don't you worry. Don't worry. Don't you worry, pal.
Long as he is on the top step at the end of the race, I'm sure he won't mind.
I'm sure. But much looking to be under a little bit of pressure here from Khan, who's slowly closing up with the DRS. Those hard tyres working well for him in this early stint. Much's mediums did work well against Grabowski, but now with Grabowski in tow of Khan with that DRS, I'm not too sure you'll be able to hold on to this position, because it is a matter of just staying within DRS round here, making sure you got the DRS zone down the pit straight, down into turn 4, down through that middle straight as well. It is basically glorified Austria, this track. So here we
Yeah,
go. Much.
that is very true. But it's still surprising to then see the DRS trains are
Sorry,
not really out yet.
I've got to give him his moment. Khan
Yeah.
takes the lead of this race from Ryan Much on the hard compound tyres here on lap 6. And here we go. This will be a true demonstration now of what the pace Khan can bring out of that Aston Martin as we head into the 6th lap and into sector 2. But yeah, further down the
people
field.
in the pits.
Yeah, we've got Monk serving his drive-through, I believe. Puth ran into the pits for, what is that, new tyres? Maybe a wing change?
You would assume it's a wing change, but I did not quite catch it. It's a bit of a shame for Poofran, because last race he was high up the field and had a bit of a moment going into the wall there. And now he's far down the field while qualified P3, so he's not having the greatest time.
There's always a mix in Tier 2. I feel like there's a lot of variations we get, especially actually in Tier 3. I think there's a very big spread of where people are quick in Tier 3. You get some people quick at certain tracks. Obviously that's natural as well. Some people prefer tracks and are just quicker there. But in Tier 3 I feel like it's such a big mix that it always creates a good championship fight towards the end of the season. But in Tier 2 we get those people that kind of come out of nowhere from time to time. A bit like Ryan Much today. Ryan Much, like I said before, not too happy with how his season's going. But at the moment, running P2, had the lead of the race for the first 5 laps. And yeah, looking strong out there. Let's see, the two Mercedes running P8 and P9 at the moment, looking to make some moves up the field. And there goes Potts down the inside of Jeff Pavich. And I'm sure those two good friends in real life, he'll be laughing his head off right now. And it would have been clipped. And I'm sure sent to Jeff many times. No, I'm joking. But
as Monk and Byland go side by side.
Oh, here we go. This is some racing that we want to see here.
Bitter rivals. Will Monk send it? Yes, he will.
Down the inside goes Alfred Monk. Can't quite find the drive out the corner though to make the move stick on Kevin Byland, and he'll have to sit behind through sector 2 unless he can make any moves, which I don't think the DRS straight down that middle straight is long enough. It's just a case of closing up and trying to set up the move down into turn 1. But Monk only 2 positions out the points for once in his life.
Yeah, he has not scored a single point yet all season, following up his pointless season last season. I'm sure he'll want to get that streak gone as quickly as possible.
Nah, I think he wants to keep it, mate.
Well, it looks like it because he's already out of the DRS.
It's like his only personality trait. As Jeff Pavich just re-overtook Evan Potts on track for P7, as we were watching Kevin Jerlin into turn 4 trying to make the move on Vlad Rosu, who's on the medium tyres, and it looks like the mediums may be already going off compared to the hards, as we saw Much struggle to keep up with Khan before, and now the other Aston Martin Jerling also on the hard compound tyres all over the back of Vlad Rosu's Red Bull.
Meanwhile, Potts has already overtaken Jeff Pavic back once again, so it looks like they will be switching positions throughout this race because they look very similarly paced.
I'm sure Potts will have taken great offence to what you've just said.
I'm sorry, Evan.
I will try and fix the alert thing for next race, Harris, and we can replay it in the Tier 3 stream, and he will be there to give you a live reaction. I think there's a good chance here, though, that Jeff Pavic retakes that P7 position down the pit straight, especially if Potts makes a mistake like that and runs wide off track, which, to be fair, could actually help him if he gets a DRS on Jeff Pavic, who's... Actually, yes, he has. He's got a DRS on Jeff Pavic now, down the pit straight, as Jeff was ahead, going through the detection point. So this could be some Potts masterclass, as we look for the fog that is just completely unrealistic. The AlphaTauri and the Mercedes side by side all the way down the pit straight. I'm sure Jeff Pavic will be looking to make a dive up the inside. Not quite, he's too far back. It did look like he might be able to do it from that perspective, but not on this occasion, as we're going to watch them now run up to turn 4. And Jeff will get that DRS assistance this time, because he was behind going into turn 1, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to make the move on the Mercedes driver. This battle for the lead is very interesting because I completely missed the fact that Much has retaken the lead of this race. Did you miss that as well?
I missed it as well.
I completely missed it. So, Much leading the race once again from Khan. And this top 3 are currently 3.5 seconds clear of Jerling, who's actually got past Rosu, and I completely missed that as well. I'm not on the ball today, I'm sorry. And, yeah, I mean, it could be... an interesting finish this race with Much, I'm sure, going to be pitting at least 2 laps earlier than the cars around him to have that tyre advantage and that undercut towards the end of the race. And yeah, the other 2 will be battling it out as well for track position, as Grabowski actually runs wide there though, coming through the final corner. As let's ride on board with Khan, who I'm sure is going to be looking to make a move down the pit straight into turn 1, side by side, and he's already had going into the braking zone. But like with Jeff Pavic just a lap ago, Much will now have the DRS into turn 4, and on those medium compound tyres might possibly still have a little bit of a grip advantage coming through turn 3. Will there be a move into turn 4 from Ryan Much? Not quite, it's too far back. Rosu and Jerling actually still fairly close on track, and Jerling, I'm sure, will wish to stop towing the Red Bull along in the next few laps as his tyres slowly drop off, but you can still see the race leaders up in front of him going through turn 10 now, and will be hungry to try and catch his teammate and make this a double podium for Aston Martin.
Meanwhile, Jeff Pavic has fallen out of the DRS of Evan Potts, and it will now be Dijkstra, Potts' teammate, who will be looking for a move on Jeff Pavic. This straight will probably not be long enough, but he can probably spend it later.
The 2 Hasses just swapped position there, and now it's Prix lead Haas on the track, which I'm sure will have been an easy decision for the team principal and driver Barlin to make with Prix's performance today. I'm not too sure. We've not heard anything about contact at turn 1, or if it was just a spin on his own behalf earlier on in the race. But he's down P11 now, looking to get back into the points after making a pit stop.
As we might have not seen the overtake for the lead once again, as Khan is now up into P1
No, I did.
once again. Oh, you did? Oh, sorry.
You're just sleeping, mate.
I'm sorry, but the Ferrari is almost out of the DRS now. It's 9:10, so he will be trying to hang on for dear life, trying to stay in the DRS because that is crucial around here.
It absolutely is, and he's just fallen out of it now. Will he be within the DRS range as we cross this white line right here? I think he was by about 55 thousandths of a second. I think he would just about get DRS here, which could keep him in contention unless the front 2 decide to use a little bit of DRS down the out of turn 13. right now, though, he's gained about 3/10 on them coming through these 2 corners. So I think he should be okay. I can't tell if it's a Cars reference, but the red Ferrari is running number 95, just like Lightning McQueen. Ka-chow. Who doesn't love Lightning McQueen, eh? Do you love Lightning McQueen, Rolf?
Oh, I love Lightning McQueen.
Good.
Big fan, big fan. It will be Much going for the lead once again. They keep on swapping positions and he's already ahead going into turn 1. Khan will get the DRS back though, so maybe he can make something going into the next straight.
These two, back and forth, nearly every other lap. And Dijkstra now making the move on Jeff Pavic up into P8. It's a Mercedes 7th and 8th as it stands. Look who's running plumb last in this race, Rolf.
Oh no, he will not be too happy with that. At
Alpine.
least he's next to his Alpine teammate.
Alpine aren't stinking as much as they are in real life, but they're still stinking.
Meanwhile, we can say that the entire grid is getting sandwiched by McLaren, as they are P1 and P18, and of course it's Will's one, the one at the back end of the sandwich.
Like Will gone. Van Loon is commentating, he's joined me up here. Give me some company for the next, how many laps have we got?
17 laps.
17 laps. I think we're going to see another change for the lead here as we come through the final corner, and it is Khan right under the rear wing of Much's McLaren, as Grabowski actually right under the rear wing of Khan's Aston Martin, but I think Grabowski's really struggling with that final corner. I think something about it is catching him out each time because he loses about a 1/10.5 each time he goes through there behind these two, but there goes Khan into the lead of the race as we head into turn 1. It's Khan leading once again. I can't tell you how many times these are swapped positions now, but it has been a fair few.
Yeah, for sure, as we're now really entering the phase where we can see people go for the pit stop. We see Leauge going into the pits, surely for that undercut, which can be strong on this game at least. I don't know for sure how strong it is on this track.
This track, it can be very powerful if you feel bright. Yeah, it's quite a powerful undercut around here. It's just the tyres die off quite a lot towards the end of the stint, so you don't want to sacrifice too much to get the undercut, because you can really bite you back towards the end of the race. Which I think Much being in the position he's in right now could really help him, because he's going to pit to get the undercut because he's on the medium compound tyres. Whereas if Khan and Grabowski, which I'm sure they will, want to react soon after Much's pit stop to try and nullify the effect of the undercut, towards the end of the race their mediums could be, starting to feel it a little bit more than his hard compound tyres. I think we might see Much in maybe this lap or next lap for the medium compound tyres. It's usually around about here where you want to pull in to get that advantage later on in the race. And there he goes. As I was saying it, does he get a speed in the pit lane penalty? He doesn't. He nails
The
that.
yellow flag. And it's Balind who has spun. Balind now down to P12 after a spin.
Spin in turn 12 puts him into P12.
Oh, lovely.
Lovely.
He also has the second time penalty of the race, as we see Evan Potts also going into the pits. So looking for the undercut.
So he's going for a very daring undercut onto the medium compound tyres. Or is he going to try maybe a hard medium soft strat? I mean, it's risky. But look at the field spread that we already have. It maybe work out if he gets a good undercut on everyone around him.
Yeah, but then you have to look at Leauge as well. He's already into P8. He had the clean air in front of him. Well, Evan Potts goes out and it's right next to Hartizer, or Drahovsel, sorry, into the first corner. We'll probably look to immediately get the move, but Drahovsel got the DRS.
Let's see, into turn 4 we go. It's actually a Williams of Alfred Monk trying to get alongside Potts. These two are good friends in real life as well. And Jeff Pavic picking up a 3-second time penalty. but Potts does stay ahead. He's got to get past Drohovezal here though, as Much now overtakes Potts' teammate Dijkstra as we head into turn 11, and he's going to try and fight his way through this field now and try and bring out as much advantage as he can on these top two, who are both out, and Grabowski comes into the pit lane. So Grabowski thinks it's time for the medium compound tyres as well. Now, how far or what's the difference going to be in time from Much and Grabowski? As Grabowski leaves his pit box, we can see Ryan Much now coming through the final corner. This is going to be close, but I feel like Much might have pulled enough time to break that DRS, which is going to be crucial if he wants to fight for P1 in this race from Grabowski. Here comes Much into turn 1, and Grabowski now leaving the pit box and breaking into turn 1, and there he is in the background. He is at least 2 seconds behind. Yeah, 2.4 seconds now the difference between Ryan Much and Grabowski after that undercut. As we see Puthran and Jerling now battling it out. Puthran, who's already made a stop in this race, finds himself into P5, and he's only 4 seconds away from Rosu, who is only 8/10 behind Grabowski. But Puthran has for sure got to make another pit stop in this race as well. Let's not forget. But we could see Puthran return to the top 5 later on in this race if he keeps this up.
Definitely looks like he has the pace to at least make up a lot of positions from where he was after a spin, as it's a yellow flag.
Luke Martin spun through turn 7 or turn 6, I think that is actually, at the top of the hill. I think he might have just caught that inside curb, lost the back end, and spun onto the runoff on the right side. And this is on. Is he pit yet?
He is on 11 lap old hard tires, so he has pit, but it was early on because he had that wing damage.
Yeah.
And he will not be able to make it out or make it till the end.
We have big news here. Khan is coming down the pit lane now after his pit stop, and we can see Ryan Much on the right hand side of the screen braking now for turn 1. He's got about the same advantage, maybe a little bit less than what he had over Grabowski, but he's still ahead and arguably on the longer lasting tyres on this final stint. This could be a very interesting end to this race. I think Khan has the natural pace within him to fight, for the lead in this race once again and close that gap down. But once he gets there, is he going to be able to pull out of DRS range? Is he going to pull out of attacking range of Much by the end of this race, where he could maybe have the better race tyre?
And what's also definitely interesting is that Vlad Rosu, who has not been in this fight for the top 3, is now in the DRS of Khan and Grabowski. So maybe he can also join the fight for that P1 position.
Yeah, and let's not forget as well, Rosu was fighting Khan's teammate Jerling, who seems to have the better pace at the start of this race, and now finds himself in a fight for the lead. It's switched around there between Jerling and Rosu, who's now 5.5 seconds behind Rosu, and yeah, it's been a bit of a change up there out through all these pit stops. I think Byland's here, trying to get past Mons Vansenberg, he gets a big drift though through the exit of 13 and down into the final corner. I think he will be within DRS range, yes he will, and he could look to make a move into turn 1, as Khan has already closed that gap to the leader by nearly a second on this first lap of him being out of the pit box. Show tyre age. Yes.
Yeah, Rosu now really on that bubble of going out of the DRS. He's already on 1.2 seconds, so it will be very difficult to get back in. And for Khan, it will be the question, when will he get in? Is it already on this straight? Because it's now 1.1 second.
Yeah, he seems to be struggling a little bit more than what I thought originally. I thought he had great pace, but I think these top 3 right now are on a different level. I think Puthran as well knows he has the pace to be fighting in this top field. It would be very frustrating for him to know that he could be up here fighting for the lead, and he's currently down in P11 trying to get back into the points, and We know he has the pace around there. He's set his banker time in qualifying was enough to get him P3 on the grid. So he has got great pace. He's just not been able to show it just yet. I don't know if it was a spin of his own or if there was contact involved at turn 1 earlier on in this race, but it has put him down and out of the fight for the lead. Who's not out of the fight for the lead though is Khan, who's got that rear wing open. He's got back within DRS range of much after getting undercut. He's on the stickier compounded tyre and is looking to get past for the lead once again. These two just can't decide. You have it. No, you have it. No, you have it. Go on, you have it this time. And Khan might take that offer right now as we head into turn 4. No, he doesn't. He thinks better of it, but he might look to get a better exit. Doesn't quite find the traction, and it is still much in the lead here on lap 18. Further back, who is that into the pits? It is Byland into the pits, the other Haas driver. And he's going to come out in P11 ahead of Berlin, is he? Or is he not? No, he's not. He's going to come up behind Hardizer, I think, at this rate. Or side by side, anyway. As they go through turn 1, it is going to be Byland pushing Hardizer out to the outside curb. But he does keep P12 in the end of it. And will be looking to follow his teammate through the field.
Yeah, we saw earlier those Haas's being pretty close to each other, but now the gap between them is already 9 seconds. While the difference in tire life is only 1 lap.
Yeah.
So, looks like Poufren definitely has the pace over his team principal this race.
It does. And like I say, Poufren, he's already stopped twice in this race, running P10 right now, and a second off the back of Jeff Pavic, who's already got a penalty. So he is well and truly going to get at least 2 points at this rate. And here comes Khan down into turn 1. That rear wing open on the Aston Martin, side by side with Ryan Much into turn 1. It's Khan back in the lead of this race, and once again Much in P2. These two swapping it around once again, as Much will get the DRS assistance though this time round. But it's going to be a case now of, can Khan pull away at all on those medium compound tyres, away from Much, away from Grabowski, who will also be looking to make a move on the hard runner of Much to get P2 in this race. I'm sure he'd be very happy with a P1 in the sprint and a P2 in the feature. That'd be a great weekend for Ferrari, who, you know, want to be back up at the front fighting for wins. Unfortunately, Kosicilek already out of this race after earlier contact, but his teammate is very much on the ball today. Is that a battle between Luke Martin and Alfred Monk? It is.
It is not.
Oh, it's no,
Luke
it's
Martin is
Jehovah's
15 seconds.
I'm going mad. Jehovah's will scam me. Well, Khan's
How
only
dare
managed to pull 0.6 of a second through Sector 2 and start of Sector 3. So, Much is going to get the DRS assistance once again this straight, but look who's all over the rear of him. Grabowski looking to make these these mediums work in his favour against Much's hard tyre. Doesn't quite find the exit he needs there though. It's about 0.4 at the moment separating Much from Khan and Much from Grabowski. As we go into turn 1, it looks like just the grip difference through there. That is probably the most tricky sequence of corners on this track, coming through turn 1 and turn 2. Like, just to get the traction right there and get the best exit you can consistently is not the easiest. As Poufren sets the fastest lap of the race, which further proves our point of him having the pace to win this race today. As he's just overtaken Dijkstra, I believe, down the pit straight and up into P8.
Yeah, Dijkstra was looking for the switchback, but just couldn't find it. Poufren on those fresher mediums, pretty much the freshest on the entire field, together with his team principal. And he will now look to pull away and maybe towards Dijkstra's teammate, Pot, who's now around 4.7 seconds ahead.
Big news here though. Much has fallen 1.2 seconds behind Khan here on lap 20. I saw him. He was a second down, just literally within a second of DRS. And coming through turn 12, big snap on the rear end, lost him another 0.3. And it's also invited Grabowski now to maybe have a go at him down the pit straight. If Grabowski can do this efficiently and maybe use some battery, they could maybe squeeze back within the DRS before the end of the straight of Khan with the use of Grabowski's straight line speed, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And into the braking zone, Grabowski gets ahead of Ryan Much, not having the best couple of laps on the hard tyre, probably not working the best for him right now.
Yeah, Khan will now try everything to pull away from these guys. If Grabowski can pull back to Khan, then that will invite much later on in this race to go back in for that P1. But for now, it looks like Khan is very much got the pace over these two.
Guys, what do you reckon? Do you reckon Luke Martin will commentate next Sunday because he's embarrassed? I reckon he will. Do you think, Rolf?
Maybe. We'll see. He has signed himself for 4 races, so we'll have a look. A team needs to want to sign him as well, by the way, so
Yeah,
that's another question.
Point. Well, not necessarily. He could just tell one of his own drivers to sod off.
Yeah, Potmate, you took me out the last race. You can fuck off now. Go away. Go back to Williams.
Oh, look at this. Jeff Pavic making a move on one of Luke Martin's drivers, Dijkstra. Wins a P9 for Jeff Pavic. And I'm not too sure that's going to stick with the DRS zone. A super long DRS zone down the pit straight coming right up for Dijkstra. Oh, what is that weaving from Dijkstra there?
That was really weird. Like he's wanting to warm his tires, but after 6 laps on those mediums, it does seem a bit strange.
Yeah. But here he comes, down the pitch straight, DRS open. Jeff pulls to the right to defend him. Will he be able to defend it though? He's still ahead actually. Oh, Jeff's done a Perez nearly. It looked like Jeff was going to have an engine lock like Perez did at turn 1. He did rear lock, but he's kept the position. Hard eyes on Byland fighting it out, and Byland's just completely taken him out.
Oh no, Kevin.
5-second penalty. I mean, saves us a job, I guess. Oh my.
They do not like each other. Byland goes really wide as well.
I don't know if Byland was letting him back through because he felt bad.
Maybe, yeah. But it looked really dirty.
Yeah. Luke Martin is absolutely having a whale of a time in Tier 2. I'm so happy you made me commentate today because you wanted to race. I'm so happy about that. His Hardizer
that's Hardizer.
He's in the wall. And he's retired on track.
Oh.
Naughty.
That's a fine for... Is that a fine? I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but I think so. Yeah, Hardizer has done what I did when I was doing my career mode race. If you go deep at turn 10, that runoff is like ice. It is so slippy, and yeah, you can't at all get on the power there without having a huge snap. And unfortunately, that just spat him out straight into that left-hand side wall. And he's very lucky that he didn't just complete DNF there, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. It might also have been the case that Byland was sending it down the inside of him in that tricky corner before the middle straight.
Possibly. But you know, it's racing at the end of the day. If you've got to go off track to avoid someone, you can do it. But if you know, I know it's going to be one that's going to have to be talked about. But I think Byron was entitled to make a move there, and unfortunately, you know, he might have squeezed him off. I'll have to rewatch it, but I feel like it could have been avoided. But the battle for P2 is still going strong. Actually, the battle for P7 is going even a bit stronger, with Puthran right under the rear wing of Evan Potts, his Mercedes now. Puthran looking to overtake his old team, and I believe his old teammate, if I'm not wrong, were they? Potts and Puthran, I think so.
Could be, but Much has overtaken Grabowski for P2 now.
He has. Up into P2 once again for Ryan Much, but I think that deficit now to Khan is just going to be too big to close up in these final 6 laps that we have. As Puthran and Potts do swap positions, and that is Puthran up into P7. Will Puthran catch the back of Mans Vandenberg before the end of this race? He's got a 6-second gap now to the Red Bull to finish into the top 6, which I don't feel like he deserved today. He should have been fighting for the lead of this race, like I said earlier.
Yeah, definitely. But P6 would still be a good recovery drive, of course, recovering 10 points.
Great recovery drive, especially with no safety cars in play or red flags or anything. Oof, big snap there for Grabowski.
Oh, he desynced back and now he's behind Vlad Rosu.
What? I can't
I
believe
think
what
he
I've seen.
had some kind of lag spike or something.
Nah, it's McLaren hacks. Watch, I'm doing it to Khan now.
Imagine it actually happened. But he's gonna take back P3. There will be a lot of accusations flying around.
Absolutely. But yeah, Grabowski having some kind of weird desync there and falling all the way back behind Vlad, who's now I'm sure licking his lips to try and get this podium. He might have thought it was over for him, but he's just been given another chance. I'm not too sure. That looked to me like sometimes I had it when your game like disconnected. I don't know. If I got tabbed out or something like that, it would put me that far back, like how long I was tabbed out for. That's what it looked like to me, but it could have just been an internet thing. Does anybody know why Much is suddenly losing pace? I don't think Much is losing pace. I think it's Much had better pace naturally on the mediums to Khan on the hards, and now Khan's broken that DRS with the medium combined tyres. It's pretty much impossible for Much to compete with him. I think Khan is on another level. He dominated in Qatar, I believe it was, as well, in the season opener, and he's going to do it again here, by the looks of things.
Yeah, so far a very impressive season from Khan, finishing P1 in Qatar, P6 in Jeddah, and now he's looking to get another P1, which will surely get him right to the top of Tier 2.
Yeah, surely Tier 1 could be on the cards. That was a joke before McWilliams gets pressed.
Yeah, looking at the standings now, it's Khan P2 in the standings so far, but it's Talbom in P1 who's not driving today. So this is the best opportunity he has got to get back that P1.
Yeah, as Jeff Pavic racing for the championship leader today, in P9 at the moment. Hardizer DNFing as well. Alpha Tauri, who won the Tier 2 Constructors last season, if I'm not mistaken, not having the start to the season he would have liked. I mean, Talbom obviously performing very well, but Hardizer not attending the first 2 races and now retiring from this one. It's not been the best third round they could have asked for. Jeff Pavic flying the flag for AlphaTauri this race with 2 points to his name, which I'm sure at the start of the season they wouldn't have ever guessed.
No, definitely. He has been looking very quick. Also in Tier 3 where he normally drives. And maybe he can do some good stuff regularly in Tier 2 as well when he's reserving in Tier 2.
Absolutely. I mean, Jeff Pavic currently is dropping Dijkstra. He's also beating Byland, who got pole last race. I believe finished on the podium, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And he's showing that, you know, it could be a potential move for him. As
But
here comes
now
Vlad Rosu down into turn 4. DRS active. tries to find it round the outside. Might make it the inside though for the exit of turn 4, but Grabowski holds it. Gets the better drive out the corner and stays ahead on that podium. I'll boil an egg if you get 3rd place, says Muncher, who is Archie Britton in the server, the Red Bull team principal. It's a look at the track map right now. There is 2 cars that are next to each other on track. 2.
Yeah.
2. There's 15 people in this race. There's 2 of them that are separated. That what's the closest gap that's not these 2?
Well, yeah, 1.5
Rosal.
seconds between P13 and P12.
Yeah.
It's not a lot to look at, but at least this battle for P3 is giving us some entertainment.
It is. But it's probably still more entertaining than today's race for a non-McLaren fan. Anyway, here comes Vlad Rossi now. It looks like Britain might be boiling this egg because he's onto the podium for Red Bull. As is that Luke Martin? It is Luke Martin, who's nearly into the wall. Has he got damage? I couldn't see any damage. Let me have another check as he comes past here. As Grabowski, sorry, Grabowski retakes P3 in this race. As it looks like Rossi was running a little bit low on battery. I was too busy trying to assess Luke Martin's damage that I missed that battle for P3 once again. Now we'll go back to Luke Martin. Has he got damage? Doesn't look like it. I don't think.
I don't know either. It will not matter that much with only 1.5 lap remaining.
I'm just thinking about the fines. Because surely they would have agreed that he has to pay damages. Poor old Luke Martin. I mean, will he retire this lap, do you reckon?
Nah,
No.
he'll stick it out.
Wonder why.
Yeah, Mercedes pay the damages that Luke Martin will get this race. That is to be expected indeed.
Brilliant. You love to see it.
Now they go into the final lap. Vlad Rossi will probably have his last good overtaking opportunity going into turn 1.
Let's see.
Certainly looking for it.
Defensive goes Grabowski. Vlad Rossi looking to get a better exit out of turn 3 and up the hill into turn 4. Will he manage it though? Here we go. It's his last chance. Grabowski will deploy everything he's got in that Ferrari. Rossi will be looking to get as deep on the brakes as he can into turn 4, but it's not going to come around for him. It doesn't look like he's going to get that podium unless he can find somewhere unorthodox in the rest of the lap to make this move stick, or maybe even the run up to the line if he saves up enough battery and puts Grabowski under enough pressure into the final corner. It could still happen. But right now it is Khan leading Much and Grabowski, Rossi, Jerling, Vandenberg, Puthran, Potts, Jeff Pavic and Dijkstra rounding out the top 10. It is going to be another win for Khan as it stands. His second of the season. But who's going to get that final step on the podium? Right now Grabowski is in P3, but Rossi looking to mount the pressure on, only 2 tenths back as we go into Sector 3 very shortly.
We'll have one final straight to tuck into that slipstream. Deploy is here as.
He will, but here comes Khan now up to the line to win in Sakir. He wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. He won the Qatar Grand Prix. It is another win in season 8 for Khan as Much takes home P2, his first podium of the season. Grabowski holds on for the podium. 2 tenths separating the Red Bull and the Ferrari as they cross the line. Jerling comes home a very respectable P5. Mans Vandenberg, who has been silently running in the top 6, just about holds on to it as Puthran closed up that 6-second gap, but isn't going to get the position on Mans Vandenberg. He probably needed another lap there to grab that away as Potts comes home P8. I'm sure bittersweet points for him as Jeff Pavic is right behind him as well. Only 4 seconds behind is Jeff Pavic with that 3-second time penalty. 7 seconds behind, but should just about keep P9, I reckon. Yes, he does. As Dijkstra brings home a 1 point for Mercedes. Berlin Nando had a spin, at turn 12, finishes P12. Grahovezal just behind him as well. Sorry, no, finishes P13 after the penalties are applied. Monk comes home with no points once again. And here is the man we all been wanting to see. Started on pole in the sprint, didn't score points. Started P9 today in the points. Finishes P15, 30 seconds behind. Poor fella, but serves you right for making me commentate.
Spiky has retired from the
Oh,
session.
what
Oh
an
no,
idiot.
no.
What an absolute idiot.
Oh no, no, no.
Why? 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 Puthran, I hope you're listening to the stream. You are an absolute dipstick.
That was not his brightest moment.
Ah. There you go, there's your podium. Khan on the top step once again, followed by Ryan Much in P2, his first podium of the season. And Grabowski rounding out the podium there. He won the sprint race, he gets P3 in the feature. I'm sure it's a very happy day for him. Not so much for his teammate, but I'm sure Ferrari will bounce back with both drivers next race. What happened, Byland, is he left the session before the end, which is a very obvious thing not to do, because I'm sure everyone knows that DNFs you. Do they not? But he's just made my, well, I'll say my life a lot harder, but I don't know if I can be asked doing it now. But whoever does the results is going to have the right good time with that.
Oh, you can thankfully still see his time in the result screen.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Oh, that doesn't work. Oops.
We are going to get ready to do some interviews, and we'll be back very shortly. Yeah. We'll be back in a second for some interviews. I don't know why I made that so difficult. Okay, is that our race winner here? Yes, he is. Mick Williams, do you want to come up as well? Yep. Come on up then, boys. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Khan, another absolutely dominating race from you. And you know it was looking a bit tasty at the start of this. We thought we were going to have a three-way battle for the win, but in that
Yeah,
second stint, once you got into the groove on those medium tires, you blitzed away.
yeah,
I'm sure to the absolute um, delight that it was for Grabowski and Much. You disappeared into the distance anyway, and those medium
yeah.
tires worked very well for you. I didn't mean to do that. Hold up. There we go. So yeah, I mean, do you want to talk us a bit through your race? I mean, obviously, a great qualifying lap from you as well,
Yeah.
to put yourself up in pole. Um,
Yes. Yeah. So the race was, I mean, first of all, quali. I couldn't. Something came up, so I had to dip for like 5 10 minutes. Came back. And then yeah, managed to get a good banker, and then I knew I had time in sector two. So then I just made up the time there basically, and then got the pole. Uh, yeah. So that was that, and then the race. Yeah, the race. My race start was terrible. Like the off the line, I'm really bad at start for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, I just wanted to say I had trouble let much go through because I noticed he was on the mediums. So I was like, no point really doing anything. And I think Puthron was on my outside as well, so I was kind of scared. I just didn't want to go anywhere. So I just wanted to stay behind and try to stay out of trouble. Managed to do that, and then yeah, following much through was actually really quick, obviously on the mediums. Um, and then I think the Ferrari was pretty quick as well behind me. Uh, and then we built a gap, sailed into the distance. I was really surprised with much's pace because I was trying to gap him later in the stint on the hards, but he was just sticking to my DRS. I couldn't do anything. So then I waited for the pit, and then yeah, I think he undercut me about 2 laps, but I managed because I also noticed he was in traffic in the minimap as well, so he had to get through some traffic. So that probably benefited me. And then yeah, after I went on to the mediums, got in front of him, and then I think he made a little mistake, and then I just burned the ERS to get out of the DRS. So, and then yeah, I just sailed into the distance.
yeah, it was a great little battle from you and Much. You seem to be swapping positions every other lap,
Yeah, I
for
mean, yeah,
for lead of
great,
the race.
yeah, just like great race IQ by much as well, just not to fight, so we could just pull away from the pack. Also, the
Yeah,
Ferrari as well wasn't fighting much, so
so say
yeah, it was basically yeah,
Grabowski was keeping pace with you two just about, and just sitting
yeah,
there watching you two swap positions for a few laps, and we thought that maybe something would amount from his kind of patience. But in the end, I think there's a bit of desync that caught him out, put him
yeah.
a
I
couple of
see. Yeah,
seconds
I was
back.
under why
So
he dropped. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
it was, but a great drive for me once again,
Thank you,
showing
thank
that
you.
you want to solidify yourself at the top in this championship, and I'm sure you have after this result. And McWilliams, of course, uh, how many iRacing races did you do during that race?
None. I actually sat there and engineered and watched the whole thing.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. So it's nice for you to take the time of the day to do something else with an iRacing. Um,
I
but
know
I
it
want
was
to
difficult.
I want to get what would you take of your driver's performance today? Obviously, another dominating win from him.
Yeah, it was just really good to kind of get back to where we want to really be. After Jet, it was quite difficult. Um, Not to say that today was flawless on both sides. Jarling had a couple of issues regarding fuel towards the end, which caused him to drop off the back of the two fighting for the last spot of the podium. Um, it was just a error, something that happened really in the moment. Really can't do much about it, but he still brought the car home in a really respectable P5. He still did better than where he started, so in my eyes, he still had a good drive himself. Especially some of that carnage, the sprint, and early on in the race. It was really good to
Oh
see
yeah,
the
I forgot to
curves
mention
were.
that.
Oh yeah,
But
it was
mention the Haas colliders, so that made it a bit easier as well. So
it was good to see a really composed drive from the pair of them today. They both really knew what they were doing.
Yeah, Jetlin had a very quiet but a very great result in the end. Towards the end of the race, it was a massive field spread. Not too much action going on, but yeah, very quiet, a very clean, clinical race from him. And like you say, just a few fuel issues may have held him back, but a P1 and a P5 is definitely a great result to bring home. And also, was there any points from you guys in the sprint?
I
no,
think Jarling got like
oh yeah,
fifth in the sprint.
Fair.
I died. I was at the back and died. So
Yeah.
Well, still more points from that as well. So it's a great. I'm sure you've scored the most points this weekend easily, and
True.
yeah, I hope to speak to you both next race. I mean, I don't know if I'll be there next race. Hopefully, I think Martin has learnt his lesson to never race in tier 2. And yeah, well, thank you, boys, for hopping up here, and I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, Connor.
I'll
Take it
speak
easy.
with you soon, Connor. Don't you worry. Aris is that, yeah.
Oh yeah, get down there, you. All right, Ryan Much, get your ass up here, mate. Come on, there he is.
We
Welcome
did it,
up.
boys.
You
We
did
did
it.
it.
You did it. You brought it home. P2. Great result. Another the second McLaren P2 of the day, if you know what I mean. And yeah,
Yep.
a great sprint race from you and Swan as well. Very unfortunate end for Swan to his feature, but no, a great performance from you today. Still feel a little bit sad for Grabowski on those final few laps, but I still feel that you had the pace to stay within DRS and launch an attack, and maybe even fight back for P2 towards the end with the hards. But that first stint with you and Khan swapping positions nearly every other lap was great to watch. Basically, just let's have a run through of your weekend. P2 qualifying at the death of it. You happy with that lap? I'm sure you were.
Yeah, as I mentioned to you prior, I was struggling to get a good exit off turn 10. But for some reason in that quality lap, it just hooked up, and yeah, I actually went a little bit wide on the last turn, so it could have been potentially pole, but nevertheless, much better laps than I've been putting in, and I've also said, like, if I am up in the mix at the start, the race is going to go a lot more smoothly. But yeah, I was surprised a lot of people started on the hards around me, but I knew because I was starting on mediums, I had to get the lead straight off the back. I was hoping for a little bit of battle in between the hard runners, but they played it smart. So yeah, I just sort of, as you said, sort of kept in the DRS train to pull us away, because it was pretty much a three-way fight after like lap 6 or something. And then coming towards the pit window, I knew I was going to get a massive undercut on him, but yeah, it came out a little bit of traffic. It wasn't too difficult, but it probably maybe cost me around about 5 tenths to a second. So who knows if that could have made a factor. But yeah, as soon as I seen that Khan came out 2 seconds behind me after staying out for an extra 2 laps, it just kind of showed his true pace. Really, he was crazy quick. I was gonna try and stick with him, obviously, but I think I got on like the marbles and just lost the DRS window. And then, like I said, I was just sort of swapping, staying behind the Ferrari, saving me ARS for the last lap. But yeah, unfortunately, he had a bit of a disconnection and sadly lost like four seconds and ended up behind Rosso, I think. But yeah, nevertheless, sometimes you got to depend on luck. And today we had a little bit of fortune with the quali, and we brought it home in P2, which is definitely, I wasn't expecting that result coming into the race today.
Well, it was a great result in the end, and you definitely deserved it, fighting up at the front, and yeah, putting on a great show for us all to watch. So I'm sure it'll be a great VOD to watch back with all the amount of overtaking that you and Khan had in those that opening stint. But yeah, great stuff. Very happy to see you up in P2 as well, and yeah, thank you for today.
All right, cheers. I'll look forward to watching the VOD back, really.
Cheers, pal. Thank you for coming up.
See ya.
Don't know
The
why I've
goat.
still got the Aston Martin up on the screen. Swan, I am completely disappointed in you. All right. Is anyone else here for an interview?
Why?
What?
Why are you disappointed in me?
You can imagine.
What did I do?
You had a worse result than me, is what you did.
Got murdered, is what I did.
Meh. Anyway, all right. Oh, Balance put his hand up.
Hello.
Welcome. Well,
Well,
we'll. I need to. I've messed this up a bit. Hang on. There we go.
hey.
Right, welcome up. I'm sure lots of action for you this weekend, especially in the sprint race.
I mean, the sprint was probably the most action. Um,
Well, you had an interesting few opening laps as well, I believe. A few incidents as well. I believe you got a 5 second from.
that was completely bullshit. That 5 second, but whatever. The incident also with Puthran, as some may have suspected it was, actually was kind of shit because my brake bias just went down to 50 for no reason after the whole lap was done. And when I came to the turn one, I didn't have the brakes that I wanted and just locked my tires and went into the rear and took us both out, sadly.
So how did your race go as a whole though? Like, did you as a team with you and Boothran? Because Boothran obviously had great pace today. I think he showed that not only in the sprint but in the qualifying session as well. Did he
He could have
have contact at turn one, or is it just an error from him?
Yeah, no. It was as I said, my brake bias just went down for to 50%, but for no reason. I didn't even click any button or anything. It just went out to 50. And when I braked at the usual point I usually do, I just didn't want to brake, and I caught his rear tire and
Oh, so it's contact
got
between you
well
and
flung
him.
damage. Yeah.
Oh wow,
Sadly.
that's very unfortunate. And did you get damage from that as well, or is it?
Yes, both of us got damaged. That's why we both pitted. And when we both had pitted, Puthern still had the better pace. So when he came up towards me, it just let him pass because there was no idea to just hold him up.
So an absolute disaster class.
Yep.
Well, yeah, Puthran still fighting his way through, getting through the field, and I believe finishing in P7,
P7.
just narrowly
Yes.
missing out on P6. Um, so happy with his performance today. Obviously, very unfortunate race for him, but
Yeah, with what happened, we're completely fine with the race. The sprint said went really good. P2, P3. I don't know what position I really started in that race, but just flew through the pack, man.
Yeah, you started in P15 and Poof and P12 to go to P2 and P3. That must be
Yeah,
a
in 10 laps.
great
That's
performance, especially in those 10 laps only.
yeah. We were flying to that field. So Puthran was down into 14th place when the safety car came out. So I told him box for softs since he had new softs, of course. Everyone had. So he pitted to soft, and that probably helped out his race since he got up to P3 at the end. So
well, still a great recovery drive from Puthran, and yeah, not a race for you to remember, I imagine,
no,
and one that you feel like you could have got a lot more out of. But appreciate you coming up here to do the interview, and hopefully you'll speak to you, or Luke will speak to you next week.
yeah. As I said, this track was shit. I told you guys in Saudi.
All right, mate.
This
Well, thank you
track
for
is
coming up for an interview, and I'll speak
fuck
to you next time.
shit.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap up the stream here. Thank you for everyone that's watched, and we'll hope to see you on Wednesday for the Tier 3 race there, where Mr. Van Leeuwen here will be racing, and I'm sure definitely not DNFing. Um, uh, nothing can be as bad as Jeddah, right? Right? Tell
Let's
me it
hope
can't,
so. Let's
Rolf.
hope so.
Tell me it can't. But yeah, we'll be back Wednesday night, 7 p.m. BST, for the Tier 3 Bahrain Grand Prix. Until then, we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.